It's been years and years, since I was a little boy, growing up and coming out here and enjoying it and seeing so many changes around the whole area, but yet we have always left this as kind of natural property. We've enjoyed it for years, me and my family, as children, all the way up to now.
When we first moved here, State Road 70 basically was a small two-lane road that carried very little traffic, and you had to drive quite a ways to get to a store or anything. And we kind of liked it that way because we wanted to be in the country.
We started KeepWoods.com to protect a very precious part of the neighborhood.
All the development that has occurred and has been occurring year after year in the area has basically pushed all the wildlife to this little segment of property, this small, what I like to say is a slice of heaven.
Of course, we're not against development for development's sake. I mean, we all live in a development. This land was, Mother Nature at one point back in time, but it was a planned community, and it was done with great consideration for maintaining the trees. The trees were all platted out. The houses were woven in around the trees. They weren't come in and clear cut and change the whole nature of the land.
We understand that there's going to be development in Florida, but we can't pave over every square foot. We need to have some natural areas that are preserved and left for wildlife.
Our perspective is you don't enable two people to make excessive profits at the expense of hundreds of families that have already put their investment in this community. It's just not good, sound public policy. Public policy should be looking at the benefit for the whole. And we would consider the whole not just being we human beings that are here, but also all of the wildlife that's here and the nature that's here.
Right now the property is zoned for one home per acre. All the neighborhoods around here are zoned that way, and that's what makes the neighborhood what it is. The wildlife lives right now on 48 acres, including this bit I'm standing on, and the 33 the developer wants to build. Now, if he builds on that 33 acres, what wildlife is here can't be confined to 12 acres and survive. It's not possible.
When you look at the bigger picture, you're talking about some very environmentally sensitive land that's right along the Braden River. So you're taking acreage that is wetlands and uplands and supports a pretty diverse array of wildlife. All of those will be affected. They've got to have some place to go. When you look at putting that kind of dense development on the Braden River at that point, which is the water supply for the city of Bradenton, you're going to have the unnecessary taxing on the lift station. You're going to have homes that are clustered very tightly together, so when you start looking at all the pesticides that will be put on their lawns in the gated community, that's all going to flow right into the Braden River. That's the only place it's going to have to go. So those pesticides will not only affect the human beings that want to drink and need to drink that water, but the wildlife that depend on the river along there. So you're looking at the environmental impact, negative environmental impact, and the community impact in terms of changing the nature of that river.
It's fine to put in new houses, new developments, but let's do it in a way that protects the natural environment and protects some of the wildlife that we still have left.
We're petitioning Manatee County to accomplish two things, which we believe are both the right thing to do for public policy and very rational. This area is zoned for one house per acre, as is the property in question under development. If it's going to be developed, the acreage that could be developed should be maintained one house per acre, not 4 houses per acre. So the second thing we would love is to have it made into a preserve and to save that land for the animals, save the river, save it for the future generations, our children, our grandchildren, all the people that come to this community that like to ride their bikes through or just come drive through when they want a nice peaceful day, you know, big shady trees all along. There's a lot of people that come here to enjoy this community. Let's not destroy paradise, let's enhance it.
We would love to see it preserved. Bottom line, if nothing else, keep the zoning the same. 1 home per acre, do not clear cut all the trees. That way, some of the wildlife may stay.
This area represents the real Florida, the old Florida that I grew up with, and it's something that we want to preserve despite encroaching development. So we want to make sure that that development takes into consideration the wildlife and the natural habitat that is the real Florida.